Hi, I'm Ashley, and I'm going to tell you about how my son Phoenix was born while also putting on makeup for you. This is my face. This is my favorite foundation in the world. It's by SENEGENCE. Put it on my hand, take a foundation brush, and just let you watch. Okay, let's see if I can do this. I didn't have any recommendations of OBGYN, so I just went to the first one I found on our insurance, and it was close to us, and I'll be honest, they were not inviting. It was my first pregnancy, and I just felt like, you know, they do this all the time and they didn't care much about me, so that wasn't making my experience like, oh, I really want to have this, you know, I really love my doctor and I really want to have this baby in the hospital. My sister had a home birth and I was like, well, let's do research on it. We watched documentaries, we read books, we talked to other people that had midwives, and it wasn't very common in Ohio. We were living in Columbus, Ohio at the time. It was not very heard of to do a home birth. But as we did our research, we just felt like this was a better option for us and sounded more appealing. Okay, so I put my foundation on. Now I'm gonna do my bronzer and blush. I'm gonna use MARYKAY's powder. My head was getting big about being a woman. God made me a woman, and he made me to be able to have a baby naturally, and I can do this, and that mentality helped kind of silence all the haters and even my own insecurities and my own doubts. So we ended up getting a midwife. So I'll be honest, our experience with the midwife wasn't my favorite. I'm about not feeling shame for things that aren't your fault, not feeling shame for things you can't control or things that aren't like that really that big of a deal in the long run. So basically I craved cheeseburgers when I was pregnant with Phoenix. I left crying every time I left my midwife's house, just feeling like I wasn't doing it right, all this stuff. So overall, the experience of being pregnant with Phoenix and the care that I got wasn't ideal, and I would have hoped for something better. But we still went forward with our midwives and trying to have a home birth, and we bought all the tools. We bought the tub, and we had it set up in Phoenix's room, and I am a very anxious person. I want things the way I want them. I really started getting, I'll admit it, so conceited about having a natural childbirth, and my mom did it and my sister did it, and this is the way it was intended. And we watched those kind of documentaries and read the articles and the books, and, you know, talked to our midwives and heard all that one-sided opinion that this is what's best and medication at the hospital is horrible for your baby and all that stuff. And I bought it. I was all into it, and I was like, I'm having this baby at home. I can do it because I'm a woman, and this is how God made me. Since Eve, women have been giving birth naturally, right? Now I'm going to use MARYKAY, this blush. It's a blush and a highlighter combo. And I'll be honest, I don't really know how to use highlighter. Look, I didn't claim to be like a YouTube makeup artist expert. I just wanted to tell you a story and also do my makeup at the same time. Oh, I'll just use my finger. I've seen people do that. So I don't do a lot of highlighter, but I'll just put it like on the top of my cheekbone. That's what I've seen. I'm gonna fill in my brows off camera because I need to focus for that. They're not like perfect, but it's just what it is for now, okay? And every time I fill in my brows without putting mascara on, I look like my brother. So I'm gonna do my eyes, Sandstone Pearl, SENEGENCE Shadow Sense, and just a little bit, it's cream to powder. Okay, so my son's due date was September 22nd, and I was obsessed with him being born on September 21st because I really wanted him to have a theme song for his life. And I was obsessed to the point of like anxiety. God, please let him be born on this day. It would just be so cool and so amazing, and I just really want him to have a song for his life. And I don't know, I was just like obsessed with that. I remember September 20th praying I was having anxiety and I was praying, and I was like, also you're like third trimester, you're like, get this thing out of me. So I was really ready for him to be born. I'm gonna do like a smoky eye look today with a new shadow I got. It's called Cinnamon Shimmer and it's gorgeous. So this is just a blending eye brush from e.l.f. When I do more eyeshadow, I usually put the shadow sense right on the brush and then add it like that, and then I'll just blend it in. Okay, well that's intense. So that's when you take a backup brush and blend it out just on the crease. Oh, and then I put a little bit under. I woke up at 3 a.m. with what I assumed were contractions because they feel like period cramps. And when you're as anxious as I am and it's September 21st and you start going into labor, you're like, oh my gosh, this is it, it's happening. So we started timing them, and even our midwife was like, it's too early. Like, she was convinced I was not gonna have Phoenix for another 2 weeks, which please, no. We started timing them and they started getting relatively close. Oh, I did garnet. And I just put a very tiny little bit on the outside crease, and I'm just gonna blend it just on the outside crease. My midwife came over at about 5 or 6 a.m. and measured me, and I was only like 4 centimeters dilated, which you need to be at 10 to push the baby out of you. I'm gonna add Sandstone Pearl Shimmer to the very inside, just to give it the eyes that nice highlight on the inside corner. I'm almost already like done with my makeup and I barely told you the story. I'm gonna add 3-in-1 Maximizing Lash Primer from SENEGENCE. This is the best mascara, lash primer, and mascara ever because it grows your eyelashes as you use it. Volume Intense Waterproof Mascara. Okay, so I was laboring at home. My contractions were getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And my midwives came over and they were rubbing my back, and I'd get in the shower and I'd get in the tub and basically do anything I could to relax. I was really nauseous and vomity all through my pregnancy, and I hate throwing up. So I was scared to eat anything because I didn't want to puke. So I didn't eat anything and was just anxious to get this baby out. At the same time, my mom and my sister were flying in that day. So I also was like, oh, this would be, I'm so happy that he's gonna be born today and that my mom and my sister are gonna be here like the day he's born. So that was exciting to me, but also just added to the anxiety. Really quick, I just want to tell you about this also amazing eyeliner pencil from SENEGENCE that I'm just gonna do a little line there, let it dry. Show you in a minute how it doesn't come off. And I put it under there, put it on the top waterline. Cute, right? I was doing everything I could, and my husband was helping me, and we were both have been awake since 3, and the day is just going on, and my midwife keeps checking me, and I'm not dilating any like fast at all, like maybe a ½ centimeter every hour or something like that. And it was just a really intense labor because I had no drugs and I was at home. So 26 hours go by and I'm not dilating, but the contractions are there and they're strong. I really want to show you guys my lip sense, but it's gonna be hard to tell you a story while I put lip sense on. Maybe I'll do like a voiceover thing. Okay, let's put lip sense on. What color do I want to do today? I gotta go with salmon. It's just my go-to. Clean, dry lips. So I'm anxious, hungry, nauseous, contracting. I have no drugs, and I'm the type of person that will take 3 Tylenol the second I get a headache. I was so blindsided by the reality of labor and what I thought I could do or what my experience would be like. Get baby to push down, and he wasn't. And nothing was really helping. I mean, it would soothe for a little bit, and you know, you have a minute or so in between contractions to rest. And September 22nd rolls around and I don't have my baby yet. So there goes that dream of him having his own song. and it was about 4 or 5 a.m. now, and I remember laying down in my bed to try to rest. You know, after one contraction, I said, Matthew, we need to go to the hospital. And my midwives recommended St. Anne's in Westerville, Ohio. That's the hospital that they partner with and that they really love the staff there. And as soon as we got there, I could see why. They were not judgmental. They were not rude. They were so kind and so gracious to me coming from a home birth, needing intervention. They were so kind to me. And I actually labored for another 20 hours, but on drugs this time. Yeah, as soon as I got to the hospital, I said, where the frick is that epidural? Get it in me now. And they did an ultrasound. They discovered that Phoenix's head was down, but his face was up. And then they were trying everything they could to get him to rotate, and he wasn't moving. He wasn't budging, and I was still dilating so slowly. And by maybe like 9 p.m., they were like, okay, you're 10 centimeters. And I tried to push, and he was just not coming out because he was getting stuck, and he just wasn't coming out, and I was exhausted. And it had been 2 days, and I just wanted to meet my baby. So they suggested we do a C-section, and I was devastated but exhausted and said, I don't care how you get him out of me, just do it. So they prepped me for surgery, rolled me in there, laid me down, put the drapes up, cut me open, took my baby out, and I finally got to meet him. I had my baby by emergency C-section when I had planned to have him at home. So this experience rattled me. I was so confused. I was so happy to have my baby boy and that he was so healthy, and I was healthy and I was fine. But the plan, God, where were you, God? Like, this wasn't the plan. I thought that I was a woman and you made me and I could do this. I was able to grieve that experience of not having my labor go as I wanted it to go, while simultaneously being so happy that Phoenix was born and healthy. But from that, my head got 3 sizes smaller that day, and my heart grew, and I realized, oh, I actually have no control. I thought I did everything right, and I'm not saying like if I did anything differently I could have had it. It happened the way it happened, and I believe that about all labors. And my encouragement from this sharing this story is to tell any first-time moms, if you're pregnant for the first time or you want to have a baby, do it your way, but be prepared for another way. There is no one-size-fits-all labor experience. There is no one-size-fits-all pregnancy. There's no one-size-fits-all mother and child. There is no formula. If my story resonates with you at all as far as your labor and just in general how you expected motherhood to be, and it's just not that way, you're not alone. There's no perfect way to do this, and the sooner we all agree on that, the better will be for ourselves and for each other. God was present with me the whole time. I think if you're worried enough about if you're doing it right, then you're doing it right, because that means you care. And my hope is that as mothers, we can come around each other and support each other and lift each other up and learn from each other and never shame each other. If we approached every situation of motherhood and interactions with mothers of all ages and stages with grace, it would just make this journey a lot more fun and a lot more manageable. Phoenix, you're 3 months old today. You're 3 months old today. Isn't that crazy? That's my eyeliner. So yeah, it's legit.